All right, guys, what's up? Welcome to Simple Shit, and for those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Alvin, and I'm going to be walking you through a little video today. We're just going to talk about the FDA, we're going to talk about our own government, and we're going to talk about the media that's supposed to be telling us the truth. First things first, we're going to talk about this video here. This is Jake Tapper, who I generally don't mind so much, but he just had a very lackluster interview, and it's just these type of interviews are what makes people like me distrust the media. And I hate even saying that word, but let's just listen to the video and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
But I have to say, one of the concerns that there is about the vaccine is there are so many skeptics in the public right now. According to polling, it's about 1/3 of the American people. A number of them are in minority communities, black communities that historically have been treated as guinea pigs, such as like the Tuskegee experiment, and they're very skeptical of the government. This could undermine confidence in the vaccine, I would think. Is that a concern?
I mean, hopefully people will be convinced by the compelling nature of the data. This is a 44,000 person study. 22,000 people got vaccine, 22,000 got placebo. It was 95% effective. It was virtually 100% effective against severe disease. It was 95% effective in people over 65. African Americans were certainly well represented. I mean, not perfectly represented, but about a little over 9% of this. The study participants were African Americans who represent about 13% of the population. So it's roughly equivalent to looking this trial looked like what America looks like. So, it's when you launch a vaccine like this, you're not trying to answer the question, do you know everything? You never know everything. The question is, do you know enough to say that the benefits of this vaccine clearly outweigh its, at the moment, theoretical risks? And I think that answer was pretty easy yesterday when we met.
So the message from you, a member of the advisory committee, is the vaccine is safe, people should take it, and ignore the president's buffoonery or saber rattling, as you called it. Just don't pay any attention to it. The process is going to work. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Exactly right. I mean, President Trump is completely off the point.
All right, so let's go back and let's talk about this for a split second. We're gonna run this back and we're gonna play this, and I'm gonna just kind of interrupt. And I'm gonna give you some of my observations. More than anything, I just need you to understand that our news, our media, everything is riddled with situations just like this that are on the fringes of truth that affect us all in a very negative way. Let's just start this again, and we're gonna just talk about what this guy said, because if you hear it just on the outside looking in, it doesn't sound that crazy. But when you really break it down,
Historically have been treated as guinea pigs, such as like the Tuskegee experiment, and they're very skeptical of the government. This could undermine confidence in the vaccine, I would think. Is that a concern?
I mean, hopefully people will be convinced by the compelling nature of the data.
Hopefully people will be convinced by the compelling nature of the data. Okay, all right, so you're basing your argument, or the argument you're making is you're saying people should make their decision based on the data, right? And you're the professional giving us the data. Okay, got it.
44,000 person study, 22,000 people got vaccine, 22,000 got placebo.
Before I go any further, anytime a politician or anybody starts rattling off a bunch of numbers and speaking fast, they're trying to trip you up. Just thought I'd put that out there.
It was 95% effective.
Okay, he paused. 95% effective. Okay, so you already know that there's something wrong with your 95%, and I'm about to tell you how that's wrong in just a second.
Virtually 100% effective against.
Virtually 100% effective. What doctor says virtually 100% effective? Either you're 100% effective or you're not. 95% effective or you're not, but you're not virtually 100%. Also, again, I'm just throwing it out there.
Severe disease. It was 95% effective in people over 65. African Americans were certainly well represented.
African Americans were certainly well represented, is what he said. Certainly well represented. Okay, not represented how we actually are in society, but we're well represented, which automatically tells me that there is some discrepancy. But you know what? I'm gonna let him finish.
Not perfectly represented, but about.
Oh, not perfectly represented.
A little over 9% of the study participants were African Americans.
9% of the study. We're going to talk about that math in just a second.
Who represent about 13% of the population.
So already 13% of the population. So 9% of the study, 13% of the population, you're already giving me 4.5% less inequities in the testing. Now here's the crazy part about that. It doesn't sound like that much, right? 4.5% less is 13, 14, whatever. 1% of the population of the United States is 3.4 million. 1%, just to give you a perspective.
It's roughly equivalent to looking this trial looked like what America looks like. So,
Paul, you're absolutely correct. This study is exactly what America looks like.
you know, it's when you launch a vaccine like this.
Then he makes an excuse for the sake of making an excuse. Doesn't answer the question, answers the question with another question. Here's what I'm going to say about the numbers, okay? If African Americans are dying 2.5 times more, or more likely to die 2.5 times more likely than white people, then if I want a 95% effectiveness for my vaccine, then I'm not going to have as many African Americans in the study that I need. Because if I do, chances are my numbers aren't going to be as good. So I'm going to hold back and take 45 to 50% less African Americans in the study than I actually need to make my numbers fit. Like, the math doesn't work. In your statement, in a question about whether or not African Americans should trust you and the things that you say and this vaccine, you lie and literally told us how you're fudging the numbers for the goddamn vaccine study. Jake Tapper, I love you, bro. Do your fucking job. Follow up questions, please. Somebody with a calculator, please. 9%, 13, you're short almost 50%. I can see short 1%, 2%, 3%, but you're short 40% of the amount of African Americans that you needed to have in the study. You left them out. Like I said, it's exactly what America looks like. He was right. Paul Offit, you are 110% correct. Like, this is what this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. They literally told us in the statement that, oh, very, very well represented. But if you actually look at the numbers of what the guy said, he's not represented at all. Like what are we doing? Like, what do we mean? This is some simple shit. I'm just a regular guy and I figured this out just listening to what he said just now. I'm just a regular freaking dude. This is garbage. Garbage. Don't take no damn vaccine. I'm not gonna be the first anyways. Look, thanks for watching. More to come. Erykah Badu said it best. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.